Hey, all right, Heavy Radio, episode 10. We are back. This is Eric with my boy Marco. How you doing, Marco?
Doing great.
Hell yeah, back at it again. Another day of metal and music and news and all that good stuff. How's the last week treating you, sir? I know you've been working.
Oh, working hard, but also when I did have time to sit down, I was rewatching some of the newer Star Treks.
Nice, hell yeah. I
I
uh,
have to say,
I definitely
I
like
think
those.
I become more of a fan every time I see it, and I was re-hit with the in the second of the newer Star Treks when you get surprise attacked by Peter Weller, and he's fucking amazing in that movie.
Yeah, I always get excited when I see Peter Weller and stuff.
And yeah,
I
his
was like, what's he
voice is
doing?
so much the same. And as you can tell from Mortal Kombat, where Peter Weller reprised the role of RoboCop,
I
I did not see that coming.
my most recent Peter Weller intake was last week when I rewatched the Dark Knight Returns um, DC movies, the cartoon movies they did for that miniseries, and it was or the graphic novel, and that was cool. So
Who does
Peter
Peter
Weller
Weller?
as he's Batman, old
Oh,
Batman.
oh shit!
So if you want 3 hours of Peter Weller Batman fighting
Wow,
Ronnie Reagan and Superman,
wow.
yeah,
Speaking
it is wild.
speaking of Ronnie Reagan, you see that Call of Duty Ronnie Reagan?
I did. It was tripping me out. We'll see what the storyline goes at. If he's just there and it's just kind of like, well, there's Ronald Reagan. I guess we'll find out together in
He's
November
there
what they pull.
to justify your actions with some Iron Reagan action.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I've been wanting to make an '80s Cold War game forever. I didn't expect actual presidents to be in it. I guess they were in the first one, so what the hell am I saying?
That's
I didn't
more
expect the
interesting.
Ronnie Reagan angle.
That's more interesting to me. I'm interested.
In the first one, you could play as JFK and Richard Nixon defending the White House from zombies. So we'll see if it
Hmm?
gets that goofy ass tone again. So we'll find out. I'll buy it.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah,
I
plenty good,
to get into the news,
sir.
we have to knock one back, pour one out for Riley Gale from Power Trip, who has passed
Mm-hmm.
away. The Dallas boys in Power Trip. So I guess you probably heard quite a bit about that being there in the Tejas.
Oh yeah, since I've lived here in Austin, every metalhead I see on their patches, they always have a Power Trip patch, always or rocking a Power Trip T-shirt, and it's a real bummer. I always counted them as one of like the Edge of the Blade premier metal bands out there. So it's really sad and shocking to hear about that because yeah, they're every metalhead here has a Power Trip gear on all the time.
Yeah,
So
Rockin' Power Riley Gale.
I never
The
got. Did you ever get to see him? I never got to.
No,
I've seen
never.
him on
Unfortunately,
YouTube live and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
never in person. On this date, in August 30th, 1969, this date in 1969, there was a 3 day Texas International Pop Festival opening in Dallas. Performers included Led Zeppelin and Janis Joplin. And I just kind of bring up the past to also be positive for the future. I mean, this is like I said, it's not that far back in time that we had some of the first really large concerts. So perhaps we will be due for a renaissance when it is safe to have one.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And
Um.
on that note, All Within My Hands, which is Metallica's charity, um, it looks like they've contributed at least at this point. Last time someone put out a little number to it, it was 645,000 to COVID relief efforts. So, say what you want about the business dealings of Metallica. I think it's cool that they are, doing something to give back with their current standing in the world.
Oh yeah, that. Speaking of them and the pandemic and concerts, did you see their drive-in concert thing they did?
I did not, but I did catch some of the S&M two, and that cello anesthesia is
Yeah,
was amazing.
yeah. I was listening to just the audio only. So at first I thought it was a bass, and I was like, wait a second, and so then I had to find video of it. But yeah, it was rad. But yeah, the concert seemed pretty cool. I think they had one in Iowa. I'm pretty sure they had a venue in Iowa doing the drive-in concert thing.
Ah,
We had one up in Round Rock, but I didn't end up going. Um, I had definitely thought about it though, but I think that was just over the weekend. It looked kind of cool. It was like straight up like drive-in theater. Turn your radio to FM, whatever,
it was
and
nice.
listen to the
Yeah, it
audio.
was nice. Nice to see that, and Bill and Ted 3 this weekend. So giving people things to do. We won't really comment on that for no. We don't do spoilers. We're
Yes,
fans too,
I
but
saw it yesterday.
I would say definitely see it. And
Hmm.
this, have you heard about this Dio Holy Diver graphic novel? What you know about that?
Oh, I did catch some of that, but our fans might not know. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Z2's rolling out a Dio Holy Diver graphic novel. So it tells the story that Dio envisioned for Holy Diver. Um, I recall Dio saying something like it's not what it seems like is the which one's good and which one's evil. There's a question to that, so it's probably answered in this graphic novel.
I just what a crazy surprise! Like I just saw the artwork to see a Dio logo and just new badass artwork is just a fun surprise. So um, it's cool to see his legacy live on in a cool, different way. I wouldn't have expected this at all. So I'm excited somebody's out there doing it,
Yeah,
keeping hold of the flame.
it looks. I'm curious. I'll check it out. This also this came through my feed. John Schaefer and Matt Barlow recruit former Queensryche drummer Casey Grillo for their Winter Nights EP. I don't get what it is with these older metal dudes and Christmas and winter songs, but
I
I'm
love it.
not gonna complain about John Schaefer and Matt Barlow teaming up. I will take that, even if it means more Christmas songs.
Love it.
I
Love it.
guess I don't know. It sells maybe. I don't know. Or they just they love the spirit of the season. I mean,
I yeah. I like
I can enjoy.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I like the Twisted Sister one. Um, I mean,
I thought
fuck
that
it. Let's do it.
Dio and Tony Iommi is still one of my favorite. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen with Dio and Tony Iommi, just because it
Hmm.
sounds like a Black Sabbath song, really. But
It's
yeah,
true.
um, this being Heavy Radio 10, I thought maybe we would go into our history a little bit and um, started at KDPS 88.1 FM in Des Moines, Iowa. What are your memories of that time, our first radio show?
Yes. Definitely. I agreed. 10 episodes. And going. So yeah, it's been exciting to have this return to form. Um, I Marco and I met. It was junior year of high school, and so we could do a radio show. Well, I'll back it up. There's a radio and TV class at a campus where you could get college courses. So didn't matter which high school you went to. This was in the center of Des Moines, so all different high schools students could attend this campus. So we were in the radio and TV program, and I don't know how we pulled it off. I think I just remember my high school like took us on a tour, and they said we could sign up for it. I don't know how I weaseled my way into it, but somehow applied to the radio and TV course, and we both got in, even though Marco and I were at different high schools. So I don't know how I pulled that off. I don't remember how we schemed it, but somehow it happened.
Yeah,
And
so I guess it's my understanding if if you have kids or you are a kid and you're in the Des Moines area, you can still take a class and get a radio show on terrestrial radio, which I think is really cool, and it kind of shaped,
KDPS.
whether or not we made a living off of it, it still shaped our path considerably, and it's why we're doing this right now.
Totally, yeah. It's I hope I don't know if the program. Well, I'll back it up even further. Were you doing taking Italian there the year before?
Yes,
Like were you there
it was.
sophomore
It
year?
is a
Okay.
really cool place where no matter what school you go to in the surrounding areas, you can take specialty classes like language classes, like certain different types of design courses and computer based courses. It was all kinds of stuff. There was like a marine biology. Like it was a really cool place. It's still, as far as to my knowledge, it's still rocking in some capacity. Probably once we can go
Because
back to doing things in person.
I definitely remember being on a not like a field trip, but like a visit with my school, and you were in class, and I told my teacher, "Oh yeah, I'm really interested in taking Italian language. Do you mind if I go sit in there for a second and just see what the vibe is?" And I think I actually know one of the guys in there, so I was wondering if I could go in there, and it was a complete lie. I just wanted to go hang out during class hours. So I remember I came and hung out with you and a guy named John Cravaro, who I didn't know yet.
Yeah, it was this
And that
very
was before
interesting.
radio and TV.
It was an interesting mix of a lot of responsibility because I mean you could get away with a lot of being up to no good or
Never.
goofing around, but at the same time you could really use your creative abilities in a way that I didn't even. Yeah, it's a great place, and it was just really cool, and so we got to do things like play, you know. Merciful Fate on terrestrial radio, and
Mm.
people could call in, and it was just really cool. Someone would be like, "Oh, let me get some suicidal tendencies," and we'd be like, "Hell yeah, coming right up." It was just
Yep.
a rad time. Um,
And it was
I like to
live,
think
live,
I like to
live as
think
hell.
it's our time, Bill Springer. But yeah, this is
I couldn't
and
cuss as
then
much as I get to cuss now.
we kind of started, playing in a band ourselves, and I wound up at a different radio station, a different studio radio station, KULT in Cedar Falls at the University of Northern Iowa. I wound up managing that station, but also that's where I met Alonzo, who would go on to be the Dark Mirror vocalist. And my picks kind of relate some experiences that we had there when we get to those. But yeah, and then I was at Iowa Public Radio. I tried hanging out at Rock 108, worked at the Reverb in Cedar Falls, and the rest is kind of history. And never really got to do my own thing as much as KDPS 88.1 FM. So kudos to that for still letting kids get on the radio and do it live, be
Yeah,
real.
I would say that course and ones like it across the country are super important. And if you're out there listening, there's any way you can get involved or help donate to those kind of programs where giving kids the opportunity to learn and run into walls and have to figure things out and to be creative and think on the fly. Like the skills I learned at the 2 year, well, 1 year I took the course, then 1 year I joined in for the radio show. You were still taking it, but the skills I learned there in that class, just of thinking on your feet, how to be, um, try to be entertaining as best we could, what you can get away with, what you can't, trying to put together a show and have a theme and go for it. Like those have stuck with me forever and have helped me with my career too, and now we're here, my art career as well. So yeah, good
Here
times,
we
and
are.
those tapes exist, and maybe I know how to digitize those, and maybe those will see the light of day
Yeah,
sometime next year.
here we
So maybe
are.
we'll
Heavy
find some
Radio
grace to that.
10. Heavy Radio 10.
Yes,
We
we're
got
ahead. This is the
some
10th episode,
we got some
and
awesome guests lined up. I'll just leave that for a little teaser, but we'll come at you with that soon. I do have
mhm,
one last bit of news for today's episode.
sure.
Have you heard about this new album by this young upstart named William Shatner?
Uh, I know the man. I haven't heard of this.
He's doing a blues album,
Okay, okay.
and appearing on this blues album, there will be some people like Henry Rollins, who's been his cohort for a while now, um, but also a young upstart of a guitar player. You got to check this kid out, named Richie Blackmore.
Say what?
They're gonna You're gonna get William Shatner and Richie Blackmore doing an interpretation of "The Thrill Is Gone."
Oh, okay. Um,
Just what you needed.
yeah, that's what I
Um,
uh, that's what I got out of bed and was hoping to find out about today.
I mean, yeah. Have you heard like his Bowie inspired album,
I just don't
William
like the
Shatner?
memes and stuff. I mean, I'd spend it.
There's
Why
just a
not?
lot of interesting. Michael Schenker's on it.
Say what?
Um, Michael Schenker is on it. Warren Haynes is on it. Zach Wild, Mike Inez. Um, yeah, Bootsy Collins, Ian Pace. There's all kinds of Johnny Winter. Oh,
The
Richie
hell you
Blackmore
say?
was on that too. Richie Blackmore was on Space Oddity.
All right.
Um,
Well,
and then he did
well.
also a rollicking version of Jingle Bells with Henry Rollins.
Okay. Say
And
less, fam.
Ian Anderson, Billy Gibbons, Iggy Pop, like he's been with some interesting people. So yeah,
Well, I
in
apologize. The
case
thrill, the
you
thrill is gone is a tough one to nail. So at first I was skeptical, but now you've listed all these people, and I'm like, well,
I
maybe I'm
think
wrong about Shatner.
he might have absorbed their energy and their spirit. I mean,
Hmm.
he was Captain Kirk after all.
Yeah, I'll. Hell, why not, man?
I I thought it was kind of funny that they brought Leonard Nimoy back, but was he just too ridiculous to bring back the Shatner?
I'd suppose so. Um, I I've been speaking of the Shatner. I've been seeing a lot more Michael Myers stuff lately, so I always think of him when the Michael Myers mask stuff comes out.
Yeah, his face is
Good for
Michael.
the
His
spirit.
face is the shape.
Yeah, there is. I saw a face mask like for a COVID face mask, and it had the Michael Myers face, and they called it the Shatner, the place that was selling it, and I laughed. Those who know know. Yeah, I'll check that out, man.
Have
Hell,
you ever
there's a lot of
seen
good
the real?
people.
Have you seen the original mask?
Long time ago. It's still creepy if I remember. It's
Like with
still
the,
creepy.
I mean, the hair is pretty much the same. And it's really the same. They just made it white. I mean,
Yeah, evidently they expanded the eye holes and painted it white. Is what I
yeah,
always heard
yeah,
the urban legend was.
exactly. I mean, that's it. That's what they did.
Dude, I'm getting in a Halloween mood and fast. Like I was not in a Halloween mood, and then I watched a couple horror movies and I ate one pumpkin scone and like I'm getting in the spooky mood, man. I'm getting ready for those horror movies. I might have to.
I'm always game, and it's getting close. I mean, I usually use all of September and October to celebrate, but or
Yeah, there's too
I
much.
use most of the months of the year to celebrate, but
Yeah,
definitely
September one's when I
it
kick it off. Yeah, there's too
turns
many.
on hard.
There's too
Yeah, you
many
pour it
movies to
on.
watch. You got to pour it on hard, but
Yeah,
all
and
right.
I it's definitely been confirmed that that was the Shatner man. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it, but it's been
Oh, for the
confirmed,
movie?
and
Oh,
even
totally.
Shatner said that he went trick or treating one year with his daughters wearing the Michael Myers, wearing the Shatner mask. Think of
Why
that.
not? Of course he did. That's like the time Sting took off his mask and it was Sting underneath.
That was the real life. He was the mask, and he was
So he
wearing
said,
the
take that
mask.
mask off, and then it was him underneath. And it's still him. Still Shatner.
You know, you give we'll give Shatner a chance, but did you ever give Steven Seagal a chance? Did you ever listen to his album "Songs from the Crystal Cave"?
No. No, I
Lead
have not. I've watched
vocals,
him play guitar
rhythm,
once.
and lead guitar.
I
The
watched him play
songs
something on YouTube once.
the songs reflect his esoteric and spiritualist stances while also incorporating standard song tropes about relationships and other things. That's the tagline. He's gonna
Relationship tropes.
he's gonna bring you other things. Um, he did have
That's just
Stevie.
wide
He had
open.
he had Stevie Wonder on the album. So I mean, what the fuck? It's
What the hell
like
is going on?
he was
What
just
is
he said
this?
he just wanted to provide a good vibes experience. That was his reason for releasing a record.
Okay. I watched Above the Law last night for like 30 minutes. Those are some weird
Hmm.
ass movies, man. A
What,
lot of
Steven
kicking.
Seagal?
Yeah, I
A lot
on
of
my Prime membership.
fast movements.
I
Slow,
like
slow to fast. There's a lot of tempo changes in his style.
Under Siege is a weird movie. All of his movies are just kind of a weird, funny tone. I don't know if
They're
they're intentionally funny.
weird, funny, uncomfortable, I think is a good way to put it. He's a very
There's a lot of
uncomfortable
him being
man.
like he goes for jokes a lot.
For someone that is, very spiritual, he's also seems to be very uncomfortable. Maybe it's like in his meat popsicle suit, his spirit does not
What?
feel right. Maybe his essence, his aura, just doesn't feel right
That
in human form. Maybe
ponytail. That's what we were
that's
talking
why
about last
that's why he looks so
last week.
uncomfortable. But yet, watch
That
out because
ponytail.
he's surprisingly fast, even for a big man.
As we said last week, the slicked back ponytail, you knew he was like the bad guy in movies, and then all of
And
a sudden you're
then
gonna try and be the good guy with that haircut. It's
there's like
tough. It's a
some
tough game.
real, yeah. And then he like tries to actually be a real life weird action. I don't know, geopolitical figure. I don't know. It's that's the enigma of Steven Seagal.
It could be a whole separate podcast about the Seagal
I bet
and his
there
ways.
probably is one, and if it's good, we'll support
If
them.
you're listening and you've created a Steven Seagal podcast, please let us know on social media.
Yes, and I
Um,
think with that it's time to pay some bills. I think.
yep, these shows are not going to pay for themselves, and there's got to be a way to bring in some cash. And the way we've found is by totally real endorsements from real companies. This week, got this ad in here, and I will read it from the copy, just like the KPS days.
Hot off the press.
Accepts fast as a shark running shoes. We've all been there, out for a jog with some buds, running through the neighborhood, maybe the gym, maybe even along the beach in a montage. Then you realize you're always in last place, always the one in the back of the pack. You're the guy in the back of the poster watching someone else land a mega spinning slam dunk. Well, it's time to get Accept's fast as a shark running shoes. The German metal titans have come together to create the fastest shoes you can buy. Now you'll be number one. You'll be head of the pack. You'll be nailing behind the back alley-oop passes to yourself for top of the rafters dunkage. Get them today. Note, will not work in water. Speed of a shark determined by weight to speed ratio.
I don't know if it's art, but I like it.
I want those shoes.
Yes.
Udo wouldn't steer you wrong, man.
No,
That
very
dude wears a lot
good.
of camo, and he can't be slow. He's got to be fast. Got
Yes,
to be ready for anything.
another big man who moves well.
Yep. It's the aerodynamic, it's the camo, it's the haircut, it's the fastest as a shark shoes. That's the secret. It's got to be the shoes.
It's gotta be.
Well,
It's
now that we paid them bills, I figure we can. It's probably time we roll into our metal picks of the week for the heavy radio playlist, which you can find on Spotify and YouTube, accompanying every episode.
the YouTube.
Um, the YouTube. Um, let's see, Marco. Would you like to um, start us off with your first old school pick of the week?
Yes, and as I mentioned a little bit, a teaser, if you will, I went into our history a bit for my picks, and the first one is Overkill with Necro Shine, and this was the 10th
Relaxing.
album released by Overkill. So it's the track, but also the album title. Came out in 1999. But we had the honor of supporting Overkill, and they opened with this song at a little club in Cedar Falls, Iowa, called the Reverb, and it was freaking amazing. I just remember, the fog and the lights, and Bobby Blitz just drops back and is like, "We've been going around Cedar Falls stealing Jesus fish off vans, letting them know someone's still batting for the other team. This is Necro Shine." Yeah, dude, that shit was amazing. And that
Yeah,
and
that was
I
that's
did
how you
like
do it.
this the typical like give a dude your album lame thing, and he was like, "Thanks, kid. I'll use it as a coaster."
Yep,
He was like, he he,
I'll
he
never
is
forget.
he is that dude. Like he lives it. He's
He
just
lives it, man.
he's got zingers constantly.
He's got ones for you. It's that New York
That
quickness.
jersey, he's Jersey.
Yeah, that Jersey. Sorry, Jersey quickness. My apologies.
Yeah, it's but yeah, Necro Shine I is one of my favorite. I think it was definitely partly because of that memory, but I just love that song. And Dee Dee Verney, nasty bass tone constantly. Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, what the fuck? Like, yeah, great, great way to start off the tracks today. Overkill with Necro Shine.
Hell yeah. My first pick is Twisted Sister with Like a Knife in the Back. Um, this is the song. This is the second track off of the album. The first track, "The Kids Are Back," is a lot more well known, but this track, "Like a Knife in the Back," just the something about it just gets me going. Specifically, when the chorus or the solo kicks in, and I don't know what they did to the production, but all of a sudden the song gets like 2 times louder, and they just start going into full on rock out mode. So go back and listen to this track. You guys will know what I'm talking about. But Twisted Sister has a ton of kick-ass tracks, and this one doesn't give as much love, but it's one of my favorite Twisted Sister songs, and it'll get you amped up, man. Dee Snider's vocals still to this day will get you amped up. You'll be ready to do anything. You'll be ready to jump through windows and kick holes in walls. You're ready to go. Get
Twisted
ready to
Sister.
find Pee Wee Herman on the hood, like riding down the hood of a car in an alleyway on a movie set, scaring people.
You
Anything.
you might find that. Look out. You might find him in a movie theater.
Twisted Sister's great. What's your next old school pick, my friend?
My next pick coming in hard and heavy is Halloween with Ride the Sky. And this was on the debut full length studio album by Halloween, 1985. Good year. Walls of Jericho. It's the only album featuring Kai Hansen as lead vocalist. Of course, he's back with Halloween today in the triple vocalist attack, which is fucking amazing. But this song, Ride the Sky, it's always been one we kind of jammed at many a Dark Mirror jam session. And we actually found ourselves at a a Halloween and Gamma Ray concert, and a lot of beverages were consumed. Somehow we convinced the people to play, our music over the speakers when about Halloween were really cool. Michael Waike. I was very overserved, probably making a fool of myself, but I do remember I was like, we're an up and coming band. Like, what's your advice, bro? And he's like, he said, grow up and make a new album. And I just, I thought that was pretty like, that's like, it's simple but profound if you think about it. Grow up and make a new
Yeah,
album.
we're all just trying to grow up and make another album, man.
Yeah. And
Just trying to make that next one.
I think it was, I was off the chain that night, but can you blame me? I was watching Gamma Ray and Halloween. I just remember there's like this balcony area where I don't think you were supposed to go, but I climbed into it and I was like hanging down, like, and I was like almost able to touch like Marcus Grosskopf, the bass player. I'm sure he was not amused, but he acted like he played. I mean, he got into it. He was joking around and giving me high fives and stuff. But I just was like hanging. And between the bands, I was like, I took a nap. We'll call it a nap. But then I woke up because it was amazingly loud, and it was just really cool. Um, a really cool experience. They did play some Halloween and Gamma Ray. They played together that night. Kai Hansen came out and we rode the sky. This is Halloween with Ride the Sky. Crank it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Halloween songs too. So I was surprised. I don't know how I didn't ever notice this, but I'm a big Kiss fan, and I didn't know that Alive 2 had studio recordings on it, and it sounds like straight up like the Rock and Roll Over solo album era. I have to find the actual date on Alive 2, but the song is called Rocket Ride, and I don't know what it's about, but it is a kick-ass song, super catchy, 150% a Kiss song, but it's got attitude to it, and it sounds like the confidence they had towards like the late 70s. It just has just a good ass Kiss song. And
Lots
it was
of
like a surprise treat.
lots of rocket riding and rocket grabbing with those people.
I don't know what it's about. So they're really fans of aerospace technology,
They like rockets.
space travel, the
Rockets, yeah.
spaceman.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of if you back it up on that record, the whole live Alive too. There's a lot of Paul Stanley yelling at the audience to see if they're gonna shout it out loud and if they're ready to rock and roll all night and
I had something I forgot about
Strutter.
something I was going to mention about my last pick. If you will allow me to backtrack,
Yeah.
to go
Hey
back in
man, it's our
time.
show.
I
It's our
did
show.
forget that in due to a manufacturing error, and to my knowledge, I mean, there's not really many cases of this happening. One side of cassette copies of Walls of Jericho originally contained music from Celtic Frost to Megatherion, confusing a lot of people who were listening to Halloween for the first time.
So
So,
they got one side Halloween, one side Celtic Frost.
yeah, without any mention of it being like a split or anything, it was just supposedly, um,
So they just were like flipping over and like, oh, this album just completely changed to a different band.
yeah, yeah, and I guess
Whatever
there was,
happened to Celtic Frost?
they got
Seems
accidentally
like
put
somehow they got
on a
lost.
Halloween EP. I guess that was actually Judas, the Judas EP, where that happened. But anyways, yes, back to the. I do, I do, I am aware of those songs, and I do recall them being very rockin'. And if I recall, that's where Bob Kulick came into play, and and the Kulick brothers. I think that's where their pass with Kiss first met, because I think maybe, if I remember right, Kulick played on the studio versions of those songs. I don't know. I know with Kiss
I'll be damned.
there was a lot of like the original guy was being an asshole or too fucked up, so we got to get somebody else to do it. That sort of thing was
Yep.
happening when Ace Frehley was in outer space, or Peter Criss was, you know,
Yep.
unable to.
Being a cat.
Yeah, he was too busy being a cat to play the kind of drums that were needed, or yeah, or Gene Simmons was uh, dealing with rockets as he does.
77, yeah, the end of 77. So yeah, we would have been pushing straight into the almost the transitional Kiss years.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah,
close.
yeah, and I think
That was Any Way You Want It was the other track.
yeah, yeah,
Good shit though. It was a fun surprise. It was like a Kiss album I never knew existed.
yeah. No, it is, and it was. I had to confirm my memory. Bob Kulick played lead guitar on All American Man, Rockin' in the USA, and Larger Than Life instead of Frehley. But Rocket Ride was Frehley's. He was playing on it. He originally intended on it for it to be on a solo album.
Yep. See,
And then Paul
called it. I
Stanley
thought
did
it
all
sounded like a solo
guitars
on
on
his own.
Any Way You Want It, which was a cover apparently. So yeah, lots of whatever going on there, but that is apparently the reality. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
my next pick coming at you hard is Diamond Head, and you know, I just this song is called "Play It Loud," and this is actually a um, for some reason, Lightning to the Nations had all these tracks that didn't come out until the bonus reissue, but they're really good.
Hmm.
So check it out. This is Play It Loud, but there's you know there's like 6 or 7 bonus songs from that time period that are to me very much as solid as the songs that were on it originally. Um, and we also
One of
did have the
those.
honor of supporting Diamond Head, and got to hang out with Brian Tatler, and he was a very solid dude, very humble, and just I the fact that this dude pretty much inspired Metallica to exist, copped a lot of his style. Is it's got to be kind of a weird thing to be, and he's still out there rocking, playing clubs. I mean, I was at a little club in Minnesota with Diamond Head and Ross the Boss, and that was just an amazing night of heavy metal. And it was like, it felt like a
Yeah.
dive bar almost, but then you got Diamond Head and Ross the Boss playing in a really awesome community of metalheads in like this small town in Minnesota, and it was amazing.
Yeah, a few shows back, I remember having the conversation. I think it was the one you were. It was the one you were out. Uh, just talking about how some like the greatest shows will happen at these smaller venues, and it's just a different vibe. Like that time you and I saw Belladonna up in St. Paul, and it was just Belladonna, and we're gonna see Metal Thrashing Mad and
Yeah, and it was
all this
in the
crazy ass
wake
shit.
of
And he played drums.
yeah, it was in the wake of the shootings that got Dimebag,
Yeah,
and
it was a weird. It was the first like happy time we had since then.
yeah, it was
It
like a
was
period of
it
like a
was a cool show.
mourning and celebration and all that, and I think a lot of people, you mentioned that Dimebag got shot, but there was, um, a lot of great people from the crew that passed away in that shooting, and um, yeah, Nathan Bray. There was a fan, Jeffrey Mayhem Thompson, and even the
Hmm.
story of the shooter is sad because it sounds like definitely a PTSD or mental health situation. Um, just a sad story, but the fact that Belladonna it was just kind of like mourning, but celebrating the lives. And he played Metal Thrashing Mad twice because the crowd was yelling for it. He's like, "Oh, is it cheese? I can't do it twice. That's cheese."
Eh,
And we're like, "No, just
yeah, he asked if it was
the people
cheese.
demanded it, and he delivered it." So I can't.
Yeah, he thought it was gonna be
I
lame, but
don't
we were
think
all
I've
hyped.
ever been to a concert where they played a song twice and the crowd went wild.
Yeah, it was just like straight up metalhead thrashers. We were just so excited. We are just like, hell yeah, man! Like, are you gonna not have see it twice if you can? You gonna not see Metal Thrash and Mad twice?
Yeah,
So it
and
was a
that night,
blast.
I think those experiences and the feelings around the shooting were really what made us want to take a band to a new level. You know, no pun
Oh,
intended.
totally. It's still a catalyst for keeping me going. I actually have I have a Dimebag shot glass that um, has his birth date on it where I keep my guitar picks. I always think of Dimebag every time I reach for a guitar pick. So
Get your pull.
um, keep hold of flame. Goddamn right. I actually put down some guitar tracks yesterday that I thought the tone was pretty close to Vulgar Display of Power, and I was very excited.
Cool.
So, but more on that another day. Let's see. My next track is um,
We're at.
my last for the old school tracks is Living Color, Cult of Personality. Um, this song is one that I heard on the radio all the time growing up. I never really thought about it too much. Then don't really listen to a lot of radio that much for the past few years, and so it came back up on my Spotify recently, and I was just like, "Oh shit, this song rocks!" And just I don't know, it all clicked for me at once, and it just yeah, I love that song. I just like crank the shit out of it. This amps me up, and the lyrics about charismatic leaders that'll lie to you and tell you not to believe what you're seeing or hearing and trust only them. Luckily, has gone on, and that doesn't happen anymore. So it's a relic of the past. Just kidding. Song still as poignant today as it was in the early '90s when it came out, or late '80s, early '90s. So, um, Living Color, great fucking band too. Some great ass musicians, and one of the coolest ass guitar tones I've ever heard. I don't know if he's using like a. It sounds like a slapback delay with a ton of reverb, but it's just
Yeah.
huge,
Um,
huge fucking
I
guitar
think
sound
I put
for
their
one dude.
Saturday Night Live performance up there with with Skid Rows and Fear. It's like that was one of the coolest things on TV. And they had guests. Their second album, Time's Up, had Little Richard on it. I mean, what more can you say? They toured with Guns N' Roses, and um, I guess it was Guns N' Roses and Living Color opening for the Rolling Stones. Like
That's an
that's a
insane fucking
situation.
show.
That's the situation.
I thought, I thought that's what you were saying. That is
That
a
is a
situation.
situation right there.
That's a lot of rocking. But yeah, great band, great song, and the lyrics still punch uh, in the
I thought it
stomach
was
just as
really
hard as ever.
cool that they played it. They played CM Punk's entrance song live at WrestleMania 29 because that
I'm sure
song,
I've seen that. I have to go back and
this
check the footage. I
song
would
was
have watched it.
what CM Punk came out to for. I think during
Oh yeah,
the height of his
duh.
probably notoriety and popularity.
Yeah, before he left, and then never came back to wrestling. But then was gonna UFC fight. But then I don't remember him fight. I don't. I could. We need a separate wrestling podcast. I don't want to go off on
I
my CM
actually
Punk
I do think
tangent.
that I unfortunately overlooked this amazing band until um, GTA San Andreas. I think that's when I really started loving Cult of Personality, to be honest. And that, and probably
Yeah, I get it.
um, hearing it all the time with CM Punk. Both of those things, but at that point I was like, well, I got to dig deeper into these cats, and there's a lot of
When you're
gold.
driving through
There's a
Los
lot of gold in those
Santos,
hills.
you're driving through Los Santos and riding around, and you got to put on some tunes. Man, now I want to play San Andreas. That was a good game, man. Good game. Anyway, I won't get sidetracked.
New
What
picks,
is
right? New
your
picks.
first new
New
picks? Had to get a swig of
picks.
juice. Marco had to get a large swig of Gatorade before that one,
New
or Powerade, or
pearl.
vitamin
It's
water.
just regular H2O.
Oh, just regular water.
That's what we're always
Oh, here it
drinking.
is. I caught it now. I also drop
The
it. This
regular
is what I got.
water.
This is my
That's what
regular
we're always
H2O.
drinking here.
Oh, we're just down here drinking
Just
water. Is what we're
hydrating.
drinking.
Just
What are we
drinking
doing?
water.
Oh,
Staying hydrated.
you're asking what we're
Yes.
drinking. We're just
We're
drinking
just
regular water.
keeping
That's what we're always
hydrated.
drinking down here.
My first new track is from a band called Oceans of
Yes.
Slumber. This track's called A Return to the Earth Below. There is a video out, but also the album is coming out real soon, September 4th, 2020. And you can order it now through the band and or through Century Media Records. Um, check it out, Oceans of Slumber. This is I actually caught wind of this band by reading an interview with their vocalist in Decibel magazine, one of the last um, bastions for print heavy metal magazines. And yeah, this vocalist definitely gives me chills. She's amazing, and I think you'll dig it. Check out Oceans of Slumber.
Hell yeah. My first new track is I got two straight up rippers for you guys this week. First one is band's called Callejon, and the song is Versteht euch. They are from Germany, or euch. They're from Germany, and they're just straight up ripping. It's kick ass shit, intense vocals, just straight up thrashing around. It's their new band. I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to their stuff and keep my eye on them because I don't say that every week, but straight up, yeah, I heard this guys and I was like, oh, what's this? What is this? So, Callejon, check them out.
Rad as fuck.
What is your other
My next new pick
of the week?
is a band we also had the honor of supporting, and they were just raving lunatics. It was Raven with Top of the Mountain. This is nuts. It's definitely an evolution for Raven, but at the same time, it's how Dad did it. It's how the English do it, and it's worked out pretty good so far. Basically, it's Raven blowing shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Just Tony Stark in it. It's just Raven, Top of the Mountain. I don't, it doesn't even need an introduction. It's just a ripping track from some old school dudes.
I have heard that song and it is good. I can confirm. My last new pick for the week band is called Skeletal Remains, and the song is Dissectacy. And it is a loving ballad. JK. It is a shredder. It is going 150 miles per hour. It'll rip your head off. It's a fucking great song, and this band's kicking a lot of ass, so watch
It
out
almost,
for them. And they're here to shred.
if
your
you
soul
didn't
out of your
know,
body.
it almost sounds like it could be like smooth R&B or something like Dissectacy.
Hey, you can use the title. They can't copyright titles. So if you're out there trying to make some smooth R&B and want to take that one, actually, maybe you could cut
Let's
your
get
lover apart
Dissectacy in here.
lovingly. Cut you
Yes.
in pieces.
You
throw
never
in a
know.
trunk. Hell yeah. Those are some kick-ass tracks, my friend. And like we said, those will be on the Spotify playlist, and Marco will get them up on the YouTube playlist connected to this very episode on the
Heavy-
YouTube. So you can
Heavy
find all of
Radio
our picks.
10 in the books. In the book of heavy metal.
Heavy Radio 10 in the books. It's fun strolling down through some memory lane stuff with you, my friend, and new memories ahead. More metal to listen to, more beers to drink, more
The
steaks to eat, as
past, the
Dimebag
present,
said,
and the
a long
future,
time ago.
or plant-based steaks. If you're vegan,
Fine.
we'll go with that.
To bravely go where no one
Yes.
has gone before. Peace out, my friend. See you guys. Bye.